everyone, it's Bonita and I'm back again to talk to you about arachnoiditis. I am now about a year and a half into the diagnosis. I am having big pinching pain in my right lower side. But what I have found that's so strange about this diagnosis is the pain is different a lot of times every day. Like this pinching pain has been pretty constant for a while, but there's times that my right lower side will hurt the worst, or my left lower side, or then it actually moves up into my middle back. And I don't know if that is just like pain that's coming from the fact that the lower back has been hurting so long that it kind of just spreads and intensifies and stresses that area. But one of the most difficult things that I find is the cramping. I still get random cramps or muscle spasms, usually in the shins of my legs, sometimes even in my toes. The other day I was laying there and had my feet elevated, and all of a sudden just all of my toes just curled and I could not move them back. I had another one of those cramps or muscle spasms in my shin the other night that lasted probably 20 minutes. And I was just crying and I couldn't get it to stop. And I talked about this in one of my other videos, but we've been using this apple cider home remedy for cramps. And we found it, we couldn't find the bottle, and I was just panicking. We finally found the bottle and got it on there and got it to subside. Of course, by the time we got it on there and got it to subside, then the muscle was stressed and it was sore and it hurt. But that is something that I think I'm going to start keeping with me even when we travel or go somewhere for the weekend, even to visit family, is I'm going to take that bottle with me, because I do not want to get caught out with one of those cramps going on without that bottle close by. It has been a lifesaver. Let me know if you have those muscle spasms or cramps. What is so tricky about this diagnosis is, you know, they say that the only thing they can really do is help with pain relief, but yet they don't really give us anything for pain relief. They say that anything they do is usually just a temporary fix, but at this point, no one really gives us anything. They want to give us those nerve medications, but I have found that those just mess with my cognition and they don't really help with my pain. So I'm still just taking the Tylenol arthritis and the anti-inflammatory, and then I'm using things like I just told you about for the cramping that goes on in between. Ice also helps my back, and a lot of times if I just sit down and my recliner is cold or my office chair is cold, sometimes that will just feel so good. And then I do still use some essential oils that I have mixed up that my daughter made me, that I think has like sesame oil and nutmeg and eucalyptus, some of those anti-inflammatory oils. And sometimes I'll have my husband put that on there, and that does give me some relief. But it is a constant, everyday, stressful situation to be in when you're trying to work and you're trying to concentrate, maybe even trying to budget and do your bills or cook. And it's hard to concentrate when you hurt. The other day, all I did was cut the ends off of about 2 pounds of fresh green beans. But by the time I was done, I just almost couldn't even stand up. I hurt so bad. And it made me start worrying, what am I going to do around the holidays when family comes home? How am I going to do this? So these are some of the things we have to think of ahead of time. Maybe prepping a few foods ahead of time, trying to make things as easy as we can on ourselves if we're still the ones doing the cooking, so that we're not doing everything on the same day. Because I don't know about you, but I'm physically to the point I cannot physically make the entire meal on the same day. Though the green beans proved that to me. So I'm not going to even fool myself to think that I can. So I'm going to plan ahead and try to make a thing or so every day to try to get at least things where I can just maybe warm them up or have somebody help me warm them up. I finally got into KU Med Center in Kansas City, which is supposed to be like one of the best neurological places that's close by. There's nobody in the state of Kansas that specializes in this. Dr. Tennant gave me a couple of names that he said did specialize in it, but when I looked them up online, it didn't show anything where they specialize in it. And they ended up setting me up with a doctor at KU Med Center that specializes in neurological strokes, which I don't know why I was set up with him. He's considered a general neurologist, and I'm concerned that I'm kind of making this 3.5-hour trip one way for nothing, and I'm going to have to spend the night because it's an early morning appointment, and I can't even get in until May. By the time I get in May, it will have been almost 2 years since my diagnosis. I've seen 2 other general neurologists in Wichita, and neither one of them were able to help me. Both of them sent me on to a pain specialist, and all they were interested in was putting in the spine stimulator, not giving me any other pain relief or any other options. So this is where I'm at right now. Maybe in your state, it's easier for you to get someone to help you with pain relief, or maybe it's easier to try to find someone that specializes in this. But in the state of Kansas, it is really lacking. And the funny thing is Dr. Tennant is from the state of Kansas. So if you followed Dr. Tennant and his lifetime of research on arachnoiditis and pain relief, it's just very ironic that he's from here and yet there's nobody in the state that can even help us with this. Of course, he doesn't live here now. He lives in California. But that's probably my most frustrating thing at this point is I'm still trying to work full time. I'm still trying to do as many normal activities as I can, and it limits me so much. I can't go out and walk every night. I'm lucky to even make it 1/8 of a mile and back without having to stop about 4 to 5 times. I'm in so much pain. I'm really having to watch the type of shoes that I wear. I also have some other health conditions. I've had a left foot where the arch has fallen. And so I'm wearing some men's work shoes that have some really big heels on them and a really nice arch. And I notice when I wear those every day, even though they're very heavy and kind of clumpy, that they do help my balance, my posture, and they make my back feel a little bit better. They make me be able to walk a little more steady. A lot of times my balance is really off, and I do have a cane, but I have to carry a laptop and other things, and it makes it very difficult if you're also trying to balance with a cane and you have other things in your hands. So that's one of the things that I've started doing. So maybe that would be something you could look into if you're having a lot of problems with balance or even pain in your back, looking into getting some better shoes with some better support system. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I appreciate you following along. And as always, let's share the information that we have with each other and try to help each other through this. We don't have a huge support system. Arachnoiditis is growing. There are a lot more people with it than there used to be, unfortunately. But if we can make contact with each other and share with what works, that helps so much, because it seems like there just aren't enough practitioners that are aware of this or understand it or even can give us suggestions. Those of us that are dealing with it understand more on a day-to-day basis what is happening. And I know everybody's path through this is so different. What works for you may not work for me and vice versa, but let's still share that information and see if we can help each other. Thank you for watching and have a great day.